Hello, hello. Oh shoot. Okay, my mic my mic just drooped as soon as I started talking, like on my mic stand. I'm gonna quick mute it because the creaking might be an annoying noise. So one second. Okay, hi, I'm back. All right, that's a what a great start. What a great start to a stream. Hang on, the music it might not be too loud for y'all, but it is a little loud on my end. So I'm gonna tone it down a tiny bit. So, if I mean this isn't gonna matter for posterity, because if you're watching this on YouTube, then like yeah, like this isn't gonna make any sense. I I know it looks like I'm streaming late and I'm like over half an hour late. I actually am not. So, so here's the situation. I wanted to start off, uh, Hydra and Pancakes. Um, I wanted to start off stream with ooh, hello chat box. Why aren't you working? Haha. Oh, that's why. Okay, hang on. We're gonna move you up. There you go. Now we can see you. All right, we're off to a great start. Um, so this stream is gonna be in two parts. You might be able to tell from the title. Um, I don't know if it's going to be noticeable on YouTube because they have like a limit to how many characters. This is a longer stream title than normal. But I'm splitting this into two parts. I'm introducing, well, I say introducing as if I haven't streamed games earlier today. I'm gonna bring some mobile games to the channel. My YouTube channel is I need to have a socials commands so that you can just like click on the links, but it's just a Girl Next Door podcast. Yeah, it has a lot of the VODs, not all of them, but most of the VODs of these streams. I usually post there at least like usually the next day after I stream, just because they expire so quickly on Twitch because I don't have I don't have that kind of account. But yeah, you can see like on screen it like flashes up all of my socials on there, despite the fact that like it turns out that I really don't use all of them. I actually wait, let's see if I okay, we're gonna see if I flop. I maybe I did make oh wait, no I didn't. Okay, I just double checked it. I was gonna say if I do have a socials command, I was gonna use that, but anyway, I ended up using my my other socials a lot more. Um, for like live messages and everything, I end up doing it on my personal account, um, which I'll probably end up adding like on here. But uh, but yeah, as I was saying, so I have no idea how I'm gonna upload this to YouTube either, if I'm gonna like sort of splice the streams together or not. But basically, I wanted to start off this stream with sort of just chatting. I want to do a little life update, just because it's just like, hey, um, it's my birthday. Well, okay, not yet technically. So my birthday is the 19th. Today is the 18th. Um, I plan to stream at least until midnight. Um, but I figured I didn't want to be playing games the entire time. Wait, hold up. You have a more male voice, but just saw your name is Gwirl. I'm confusion. Okay, so my pronouns are he, him, and they, them. So Gwirl in this context is like it's like a femme gay man, or kind of just like gay men in general. We call them the Gwirls. Like if somebody is gay, they're just like, oh, they're one of the Gwirls. You might also alternatively say like see it as like one of the girls. Um, but yeah, I thought it was like sort of like a pun because there's like the trope of like the girl next door, and then I'm just like, okay, well, like I'm like the I'm like the gay next door. So um So it's just like, oh, like, well, what's like a good? I struggled to find like a name for my channel and sort of the podcast in general for like a little bit. I was just like, damn, like I don't I want to come up with something cool, or kind of like clever. And there are so many podcasts at this point that exist because there's just been like a boom over the pandemic, but specifically over this past year, there's like so many alpha male podcasts. And I'm just like, you know what? We need a soy boy, gay ass podcast to counterbalance it. I'm a part of a group I didn't even know I was in. Well, now you know. The more, the more you know. Um, but yeah, so um, I want to do like sort of a just chatting portion first, probably for 1.5 to 2 hours, just to sort of, you know, talk about my birthday, because I'm like, it's a sentimental day. I was gonna drink, but I have such a bad migraine right now that I decided to take some meds to help with it. And like, oh yeah, I really don't wanna I don't want to mix alcohol with pain stuff, obviously, because we are responsible on this podcast. So I'm not drinking tonight, sadly. I did have some birthday cake earlier, so that is sort of my vice for the night. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to sort of have a candid chat about everything, have a mini existential crisis, sort of pretend we have enough going on to have a quarter life crisis, and then just go further. We need gay ass podcasts. Oh yes, the negotiator. Yeah, they have to balance out. It's all about balance. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna do like maybe 1.5 to 2 hours of this. I always say that, but then it ends up going on for like a lot longer. Um, and then we'll play some Final Fantasy Battle Royale. Because I'm addicted to that game. It is also one of the few games on my phone that, if I play it for an extended period of time, does not turn it into a hot potato. Which is always a plus. Like the only games on my phone um that don't do that are like that one, Legends of Runeterra, Switchcraft, which I don't know if any. I did stream Switchcraft the other night as like part of like a test stream. I personally really like that game because of I like this like the visual novel elements that are paired with sort of like the classic puzzle game. I also like that there's like lots of like there's people of color in it. There's it's like full of queer people. It's like spaced at like a magical school, which is like gonna be my shit. But just like in the modern day. So like I don't know, I really like it, but I don't know if that kind of game would translate super well or not. Um, but we'll see how I feel about it down the road. But for now, I just wanted to play some Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale on my phone. The one drawback of this is so there is going to be a quick intermission between streams because I'm streaming off of the Twitch app on my phone, which I don't love because it means I can't have music going on. Also, it means I can't use this mic, so the audio like isn't great. I have to figure out sort of a mobile mic headset substitute or something when I do that. And it also means that like I don't get to have my cute overlay and everything. It's why I wanted that part of the stream to be significantly shorter, but also for it to be sort of near like the end, because then it's just like that's kind of going to keep me energized through sort of the end of stream. It is also just like I want to play games sometimes. Like I know I'm a podcast, but like I do play a lot of games like in my spare time. I just can't stream them because they're not usually on streamable formats. Because I know that you can stream off of a Switch, but I have a Switch Lite, so I can't stream the games that I want to be, which sucks because like I really want to stream Neo The World Ends With You because I'm obsessed with that game. I'd love to stream Fortnite as well, but I know that technically it's probably better for me to be streaming off of like a PC for that, or like even like a PS4, but I just don't have that set up right now. Because I don't have a PC, so haha. So how many hours to your birthday? I gotta be here, I think, to show support since I'm still kind of new. Don't feel pressured to, but yeah, so my birthday is gonna be so right now it is 10:21 p.m. I'm like on the East Coast. So my birthday is tomorrow, so I'm gonna count like midnight to be sort of my I mean, yeah, I just want to stream till midnight so that I can like ring in my birthday and be like, I'm 25, bitch. Um, the girl on screen is more athletic than 80% of people on this app. Dang. Look, Kiki puts in hella work. All right. Kiki's Delivery Service is one of my favorite Ghibli movies ever. Fun fact. So I lived in Japan for about a year, basically right before the pandemic. I really lucked out with that because I haven't been able to travel since, and also I was able to like leave the country before the borders closed and all of that like exploded. Um, but while I was there, there was a Ghibli store at one of the shopping arcades that was near my apartment, and I was able to get a really nice art book for Kiki's Delivery Service. I was tempted to get a bunch of other ones, like there was one for Princess Mononoke, and there was oh, what else was there? There was Nausicaa. Um, they didn't have Howl's Moving Castle, which like if they did have that, that's probably what I definitely would have splurged on it. But I just decided to get the one art book because I didn't want to spend too much money. But I have that in my room somewhere. It's one of my favorite things that I own. I'm obsessed with it. Um, just like I'm obsessed with this movie. So the reason why I have Kiki's Delivery Service going on right now is it is because because the other night, so this is from a scrapped stream because I ran into so many issues with Streamlabs that I just straight up couldn't stream last Wednesday, which really bummed me out because I was actually really excited to talk about stuff. Um, I wanted to talk about just because I was seeing a lot of press about Fantastic Beasts. I thought of like, oh my god, like I absolutely have to talk about like Harry Potter and everything. And but like I didn't want to find gifts for Harry Potter, and I was just like, well, what's a magical thing that I could like tie in? And I was like, oh, Kiki's Delivery Service, no duh. That was also the stream that I wanted to introduce Switchcraft to the format, which like I think I still might. The thing with like Switchcraft is like because it's like not as intensive as like a mobile game where like you notice the frames dropping. I'll probably be able to keep that in this overlay, and I won't have to switch over to the Twitch app to stream. So that might be like a thing that I prefer moving forward, and it also means I can like play my music and everything. So that'd be kind of fun. Um, but for today though, I just wanted to stream some Final Fantasy. Um, but yeah, just I think the other thing too is like because of I'm really invested in the story for Switchcraft. I I want to sort of reserve that for like a stream just because like I want to do like I'm not definitely not a voice actor, but like because it's a visual novel, like I gotta do the voices. I gotta read it. We can like sort of go through that together if anybody's interested. I know that's maybe a little bit more of like a niche kind of game. I mean I wouldn't say that it's like it's definitely not an obscure game because you've probably seen a million commentary YouTubers advertise that game at this point. If you've seen like a million mobile ads of it, that's kind of why I got into it. I was like I didn't have anything against it because like again like I'm gonna support anything that has queer content in it. Um, but I did cave in eventually. I was like, I'll download the game. I don't have anything else that I'm doing, and I actually really enjoyed it. So this isn't an ad. It's not a hashtag ad for this game. But if the creators want to shoot me a creator code, I mean, a dollar make me holla. So but yeah, until then, like I'm just playing it for fun. I don't do any of this for money at this point, which is like whatever. I'd love to, but it's not the sole reason why I do. I feel like I have to reach sort of a higher level of quality if I want to start like monetizing this like at all. I do have a dono link at the bottom of the screen, but like there's no pressure to like ever do it, honestly. Um, because I do this mostly for fun now. At least for the time being. That could change when I like, become a sellout or something, but for now, it's just like this. So yeah, so I was pretty bummed out that I had to scrap that stream. It's why there's gonna be a little bit of a gap in uploads on the YouTube channel. Because normally they're pretty frequent just because I do stream like 3 times a week and I almost always post them the day after. But it's just gonna be missing some content, and it sucks because I like being consistent, but it is what it is. Random question: how do you feel about people who use MS Paint? I use MS Paint, so obviously I hate them. No, No, I mean like I think MS Paint has like sort of like a cute quality to it. And like if you don't have like Photoshop and everything like me because I'm like broke, um that's kind of like the closest thing to picture editing software that I have. Like image editing. I don't use it for this because I don't have MS Paint on Mac, but like my overlay was like all sort of um it's just kind of like a lot of images put together. If I had MS Paint on this computer, this overlay would 100% have been made on it, but it's not. So instead you get to have this, which I still like. I imagine at some point it'll change it, but for now I think it's like cute. It's an aesthetic that I like. Um, I'm sort of like in the back of my mind, I'm trying to think of hey, my mic is clipping, so I'm gonna bring down my audio a tiny bit. Um, Go play with the neighbor's kids. The neighbor's kid. I buy NFTs. Oh my! Don't even get me started on NFTs. I will go on like well, I say I'll go on a rant, but I actually won't because I'm not like super educated to talk about. I just know that they like suck and that artists get exploited for it, and with like their content being stolen, and on top of that, like crypto in general is just bad for the environment. Um, I have a whole spiel about why I'm anti-crypto. But that's not what the stream is about. And honestly, like I don't wanna draw the ire of the crypto bros. Like the crypto bros in army are people, and the beehive and also the barbs are not people I want to piss off on the internet. Even though they don't care who I am, I'm like a tiny streamer. What topics do you talk about on the podcast? That's a good question. So my tagline personally, that I never use, I made like I like wrote up like a whole intro because I thought I was gonna be super professional, um, on on the stream, and then like I always forget to use it, but it's like your number one source of fashionably late but occasionally great pop culture takes. Now the conceit behind it is I like talking about, you know, things that are current, but I'm always late to talk about them, and then I take forever to edit things and update it. So I'm just like I don't know. I like the idea that it's like, okay, well, whatever show I'm into, or whatever music I'm listening to, or whatever movie I'm obsessed with, that's basically what I talk about on here. I have a you know, that's sort of the marketable way to put it is just like we talk about like pop culture. We talk about like what I mean. I talk about kind of whatever I want, but that's sort of the main thing is going to be like media. Um, but the reality is like I have this issue where I obsess over things so much that I annoy every person around me nonstop for it being it be like some like an album comes out, for example, and it becomes my personality trait for the next like 2.5 weeks. It's all I will ever talk about, and I feel like it definitely, I mean, I've been told that it annoys people, so I was just like, okay, well, what's like a healthy way that I can purge that hyperfixation, um and then maybe make a living off of it, or at least like have it tie into stuff that I want to do with like my social media presence. I'm just like, oh, like a podcast sort of encourages that sort of marketplace of sharing, maybe even oversharing your thoughts and feelings about something. As far as topics are concerned, we've been we've been pretty all over the place. I know I said like pop culture, but to be fair, like pop culture is such like a broad statement. Like I think the most recent episode that's still live on the channel, we were doing a tier list of fan fiction tropes, which was super fun, and I loved that. But then like there have been other ones where like, you know, we talked about Turning Red, or last stream we talked about the ultimatum, and then that stream got deleted, um, because I didn't like it. And then well, we were talking about like the first half of the ultimatum because I hadn't watched the reunion at that point. I will talk about that probably. I mean, I might talk about it tonight, to be honest. I normally I like to sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I do want to like sort of dedicate, especially bigger topics that get like a little bit more buzz, to be like the sole topic of the stream. But honestly, like it's been so much on my mind over this past weekend because I just watched it with my boyfriend. That like I there's no way I don't talk about it. um and then there was also another stream where I did like a sort of 1 year later assessment of like a Lord record, like with like her album Solar Power. I know it hasn't been exactly a year yet, but like she put out a music video that same day. I was just like, okay, I might as well talk about it. um but yeah, so I know that's sort of like a very long-winded answer to your question, but I'm hoping that's like that kind of helps. um there's only one NFT that's worth it. I think it's kind of innovative that comes with a card that allows you onto a cruise with a bunch of other popular people, Snoop Dogg, Drake, etc. I mean, I don't know that I have like really much to say like about that because I don't really know anything about it. I guess as long as it's not like on the blockchain or whatever, then like I don't hate it. But I don't, again, I don't want to draw the ire of like crypto bros, especially because like I'm not ready to get fact checked by like my very limited and kind of not great knowledge of cryptocurrency. That's my thing. It's like I know I talk a lot, but oh, thanks for the follow, Sinister. I don't know why why didn't my alert pop up? Hello. um don't tell me alerts got turned off again. Okay, well I'll have to fix that later. But again, thanks for the thanks for the follow, Sinister. Um I'm really sorry I didn't play your alert. I swear it normally works. um what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's like another thing that I'm very guilty of. I very much I mean it's in my stream tags. I have ADHD. I don't say that in like sort of like the quirky way that it feels like it's sort of gotten on TikTok and social media in general, where it's where like I feel like for like millennials it was like depression and anxiety became like the quirky thing for Tumblr. I think TikTok is like ADHD, and also probably borderline personality disorder, where it's like mental health um disorders that become quirky and trendy. But that's a topic for another day. But because of that, I get very off track and I lose my train of thought a lot. So like bear with me and try to keep me on track because I do get lost in my own thoughts with everything. Um, and then Grinder is ST. Uh, anyways, old people say they wish they could go back to the good old days. I'm like in the good of days you had near racism, still in near abusive parents. T. Um, Seen the new series that came out. Moon Knight is pretty good. I have not watched new Moon Knight yet. I'm going to. There's a part of me that wants to wait till all of the episodes are out to watch it. But I think in the past I have done like the week by week basis. That's what I did. Oh, that was another thing we covered on stream. We talked about Euphoria. But yeah, I watched that week to week and I really loved being a part of the conversations with that. I feel like because Moon Knight hasn't really been on my timeline that much though, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on being part of that crowd as it's airing. So I don't feel as bad waiting to watch all of them. Um but that is a show that I definitely been meaning to watch. I did prioritize The Ultimatum because that was sort of a thing that I was watching with my boyfriend over like the weekends and we had a lot of fun with it. I think those shows are kind of like fun anyway, but they're definitely very chaotic. The first episode was weird to understand anything. That's the consensus I've been hearing. I don't know. That being said, though, because I haven't been seeing it a lot on my timeline. I am kind of grateful that I haven't been spoiled about anything yet. But like it means I also don't know how people are feeling about it, like if they're hating it or not. I mean, I know I shouldn't like, derive my opinions about the about the show off of how other people are feeling about it. But again, like when I look at the buzz of other shows, um, like the other Disney Plus Marvel shows, it's like I definitely don't see as much about Moon Knight outside of people just thirsting for Oscar Isaac, which I totally get. Um, but like when I think of WandaVision, where like every week it was like a new fan theory and people were just going wild over it, and then like Agatha all along, like um, came out and it was a cultural reset. Twitter went absolutely batshit insane. So, which like justice for Agatha all along, for not getting that Grammy, totally deserved it. Um, what other shows are on your radar? Um, I know this doesn't count because it just ended, but I'm obsessed with Abbott Elementary. I know the finale just aired earlier this no, not this week, last week. I don't know what day it is anymore. And I loved that. Ooh, what else? I've been okay, so this isn't a new show. I've been obsessed with the show Normal People, mostly because I know Sally Rooney's other book is being adapted into a TV series, and that's coming out pretty soon. So I'm interested in watching that. Ooh, what else have I been watching? I feel like I haven't been watching a ton of new shows, which is kind of a shame. I've been like watching a lot of things I've been meaning to watch in the past and just didn't get to. Um, so, oh god. Well, I guess Moon Knight is the next really big thing on my watch list that I hope to get to. I also have I know this isn't shows, but I normally before the Oscars, I watch every movie, at least in like the best picture category or just any other ones that are like random categories that I'm interested in. Um, just to get like an idea of like what people are sort of into. I don't personally care like that much about like the Academy that much because the history of like racism and misogyny and everything, but and then like the whole slap at the Oscars, which I don't want to get into, but I didn't do that this year. I only watched movies that I saw organically, which was going to be like the animated features. Um, and I do want to get on that. So I know that's not TV shows, but like I want to see Dune. I want to see Drive My Car. I definitely want to see Coda. I didn't realize that that was on Apple TV and I could have been watching that this whole time. I thought it was like on a streaming service I didn't have, and I was just like, damn, that's like probably the one Best Picture nominee, which I guess it was like the winner, that I wasn't going to be able to see, and I could have watched it the entire time. That's dedication. Every movie. I'm a big movie buff. That's the thing that I definitely want people to know about me. Is like I'm a massive music nerd and I'm a huge movie person. Um, you sound a lot like my old teacher, strangely familiar. I don't know if that's like a compliment or not, but I hope they were a good teacher. That's funny though. Dune is very good. That's what I've been hearing. Even though Zendaya's only in it for like what 5 minutes. That's okay though. That's kind of iconic to be honest. We call him Mr. Krabs. Take it how you want. Okay. Um. Well, that adds like another layer of confusion for me because now I really don't know how to take it. But it's fine. Oh, that's funny. Uh. Oh God. What else? I think besides that though, hmm. Oh, I want to watch The Dropout. That's something that all of my friends and like my boyfriend was watching recently. Everybody's recommending it to me. That's like the show with Amanda Seyfried that's about like the Elizabeth Holmes case. Um, but I haven't gotten the chance to see it yet. I think I kind of just generally haven't been dedicating a lot of time to streaming. Okay, that's confusing. To like to streaming shows, not to streaming on Twitch, but I haven't been dedicating a lot of time to it just because I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe it is related to me like streaming on Twitch. My screen burnout sort of tolerance has definitely gone down pretty significantly over the past month. And because of that, it's kind of hard for me to like sit in front of a computer and watch something. which does suck because it means that I've definitely missed out on a lot of shit. Um, so like I'm pretty limited to half-hour shows, and then at even that it's like they have to be like pretty easygoing. It's hard for me to get into like a really meaty show where you have to pay attention to everything, which like I just said, like it does suck. Yeah, Mr. Krabs was a good teacher. Okay, well that's good. At least I wasn't like the asshole teacher. Are you associated yet? If not, I'm surprised. Do you mean like a Twitch affiliate? I'm pretty new, so I don't meet a lot of the parameters for that yet. Kind of have to I have to probably double check what some of those are. I would love to be an affiliate soon, but that explains it. Yeah, no, I've only been streaming for a couple of weeks. Actually, no, it might be going on a month now, which is kind of wild to think about. But I mean, it's been fun so far. I did have like sort of a brief period where I was like maybe having like a little anxiety about like content drought, I guess, because I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know when I'm gonna like stream today. I have to put out like a live message though, because I like to tweet it out at the beginning of the day and like add it to my Instagram story. But yeah, no, I'll sort of like briefly panic about like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna like stream today. But recently it's been a lot easier, and I've been able to sort of chill out about it. I think adding games to the rotation is gonna be nice too. Just like if there's like a day where I'm not feeling super chatty, I can be like, okay, well, how about I put on like some video games or something, or maybe we can just listen to music. I don't know. I know that for those kinds of streams, I would definitely not be able to post them on YouTube. I'd have to delete the VODs because DMCA, but I mean that could be fun. I think doing eventually I do want to get a webcam, so that would probably make me feel better about doing album reactions. That's definitely something I'm really interested in being able to explore, but right now that's just not in the it's not in the cards. But that would be something that'd be kind of cool to do as like a sort of a chill moment. One of the most searched things if you search Girl Next Door is Girl Next Door podcast. You sure? Hang on. So, because it is such a small channel, like it does like sort of have, it gets like other recommendations. Are you typing it in right though? Like it is Gwirl as in like with like the W and the O instead. That's how I've been able to find it. Otherwise, I definitely do need to have a socials tab, or a socials command to put in chat. Hang on, I can try to find that now, actually. I'll find like a channel URL that I can post that in chat. At least, so then at least you have it for now. 1 second. Ooh, you're gonna hear, you might hear some doubled audio for a second. Maybe not. Maybe I can be competent for once. Oh wait, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm trying to do this on my laptop. I can just do it on mobile. Oh, you were able to. Oh, okay, you were able to find it. Good. I'll still hang on. I'll still post it in chat though. 1 sec. There we go. This should be the right link. For anybody else who wants to click. But yeah, no, I did a stream ranking Animal Crossing NPCs. Yeah, no, Animal Crossing is one of my favorite game series. I know some people like sort of like to be dicks about it and be like, oh, that's not a real game. But it's just like, look, some of us have really bad anxiety and need sort of chiller games. Not all of us can be like quote unquote real gamers that are playing like first person shooters or whatever. You know, 3 subs, you're growing rapidly. Thank you for thanks for subbing. And yeah, I know it's like I'm like so I'm popping now. I'm popping off. But yeah, if you visit that, I have a decent variety of content on there. I feel like all of my streams have been so different from each other at this point. Like minus like sort of the Grammy streams, but like it's because one of them was a Grammy prediction stream, and then the other one was like doing like a follow up of like um oh, what am I saying? It was like a sort of to see which predictions were right. I don't know how I have more with 0 videos, but I hope it goes well. Wow, flex. Okay, I see how it is. No, I mean, also that like my YouTube channel is like pretty new as well. Like I didn't make my YouTube channel at the same time as my my Twitch channel. I made it like kind of late in the process, and it was because I had 4 streams up before I made my channel, and I tried to upload them, but I didn't realize this is like sort of where streaming has like a pretty big learning curve to it that I've at least been able to fix some of the problems. The video quality on them was so bad because I was streaming on the wrong aspect ratio, which I know is like a pretty like noob mistake, but like I'm willing to own up to being a noob. So I was just like, well, do I upload these or not? Because they look really bad. And they're also very awkward because it's just like my first few streams, like I didn't really have I did sort of write out like an outline beforehand just so I didn't get like too off track and sort of had some kind of direction. But I was still sort of getting the kinks out, and I think I mean I've said it before, but I'll sort of bring it up again just because this is something that I really like. I think is like important to talk about, is like I do struggle with a lot of anxiety. I have anxiety disorder, among a lot of other things. I'm not a very well person, but because of that, public speaking has always been like not a super great thing for me, and this is like kind of another form of public speaking in a way. So because of that, I've always been like I did struggle a bit. Like I know like every time right before I was gonna press like the go live button, I would just like have like a mini sort of like heart attack. But we're good now. So first person shooter games are stressful, tbh. I know, but I do love them. I'm not good at them. Oh, okay, so I might lose. Maybe I'll lose subs if I say this. I do play a lot of Fortnite. I don't stream it because I don't have anything to stream it on. But I know that's like not a first person shooter, but that's probably the most, next to League is like in Wild Rift, that's kind of the most competitive games that I have. I say as like I'm about to play like the Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale game. But to be fair, like I feel like because the game kind of fell off pretty hard like almost immediately, at least in the West, it's like populated by like a lot of bots, so I'm not surprised that like I do better than I probably would realistically, because when I did start off the game like on launch, I was not good at it. I died like instantaneously. But like that being, I say it as if like I'm like good at the game, but like I've literally only won one game out of I don't even know how many matches I've played at this point. It's kind of sad. I typed in FE and thought it would autocorrect a few, but it went to femboy. What is wrong with my search history? I mean, look, I'm not here to judge. So I guess I'll just to sort of move the conversation a little bit. I do want to sort of talk about, just because it's like my birthday and we're getting like a little introspective, I guess. So something that is kind of like I say like a weird little quirk about me, but I feel like other people might feel this way too. I sort of like have sort of like a magical, not magical, but like a little bit of like a superstitious sort of perspective on certain ages, specifically ones that end, I mean like any kind of multiple of 5. Like I think like a 5-year sort of interval is kind of like a good time to check in with yourself. Not that I don't check in on myself kind of relatively frequently, because that's just sort of like an aspect of, you know, keeping up with mental health. But when I think of like sort of like, you know, life milestones or whatever, I do like to sort of measure it out. And I just kind of happen to go by 5 year intervals just because I like numbers that are kind of clean like that, like 25 and 30. That's just kind of my shit. But then like on top of that, like at this point, because of how much of an Adele stan I am, I'm gonna associate like any year that's like numbered after an Adele album. Um, and like I'm gonna put like an extra amount of importance in it, like no, regardless of if anything cool actually happens. Um, and when I sort of recap the past 5 years of my life, like there's some times where I think like if I don't think about it that critically, I do sort of bum myself out a little bit of being like, oh, like I haven't really done as much as like I wanted to, and I'm not really exactly in the place that I would like to be, like career wise or creatively, or maybe even life state wise. But then like I kind of have to remind myself that like, well, you've spent 2 years of it, going on three, um, in a pandemic, and on top of and like even then like you were able to do some cool shit. Like you spent like almost a year in Japan. Um, you were able to sort of like figure out a pretty toxic school environment or whatever, and sort of make a decision for yourself that was a little bit scary when you think about like I don't know, like I've definitely, as somebody who's a like a very much was a straight A student stickler type, I it was very important to me to be like I'm gonna finish college right after high school, and I just didn't. And I know some people would probably look at that as like a bad thing or like maybe like a failure, but for me I'm just like that kind of feels like character growth for me, that I was like sort of breaking against that mold I set for myself. So because of that, like I can't beat myself up too much about how I've treated the past 5 years. Um, because like I definitely I like, are there components of it where, oops, excuse me, I just like I just got like an air bubble in my throat. Um, like have there been instances where I felt stuck? Like yeah, of course. I feel like everybody sort of runs into that issue of like stagnation at some point in life, but ultimately it's like I still lived my life. I'm still living my life present tense. I'm in a great relationship right now with my boyfriend. I have a much better relationship with my parents than I could say during my teen years. Um, excuse me. My confidence is significantly um, significantly better. I invested into taking care of my mental health, and like sort of like I didn't have a diagnosis before 19. Um, and then I started taking things a lot more seriously when I turned 20. Um, and obviously I don't regret that. So I don't know. So it's just like I mean, I'm gonna pat myself on the back about it a little bit, to be honest. Turning 20, 25. I'm turning 25. It's about the journey, not the destination. As long as we keep trucking, that's what matters. Life is a miracle in of itself. Period. No, that's so true though. And I don't know. I think when I compare myself to where I was at like at 20, so like at the beginning of this sort of like period, I guess, I was definitely harsher on myself about sort of the destination part, I guess. And I don't feel that way so much now. I've opened myself up to so many different like routes that my life could take, and exploring different interests that I wouldn't have considered before because I just didn't see them as like very practical. Um, I also I only really got into Twitch, so as like a consumer, like an audience person, like um, probably at the end of 2019, and I didn't think I'd ever like stream. So me streaming now is like definitely for me feels like a big deal. Maybe it doesn't for like anybody. I mean, like it probably doesn't for anybody else because like you don't you don't most people don't have a context like who watch me don't have that kind of context of my life. Um but for anybody who's like been with me like through high school or college, or just sees me on a day-to-day basis, it's just like this is not something probably a lot of people would have expected from me, especially not expecting for me to enjoy it. But here we are. Okay, girls used to make fun of me, right? I pretended to be sexist in response to them, watch them cry. I'm not, but it was a great revenge and it worked. I don't understand. I don't follow. Um, okay, so they gave you shit and then you sort of like return fire. Um, I mean, I obviously advocate for, standing up for yourself, but there's like kind of ways to do it. Like I don't want to be like mean when I say this or whatever, but just like I feel like sexism isn't like a way to like, even if it's like sort of like, if people quote unquote like deserve to like get their feelings hurt over because like you're just like standing up for yourself. I feel like sexism is like kind of like there's ways to sort of resort to like standing up for yourself and like not um taking things sitting down without like going to any of the isms, I guess, isms or phobias. But that's just kind of how I feel about it. I know there are many ways to respond that sounded the rudest that would get me tackled instantly. I mean, yeah, I would stay away. Honestly, when you're advocating for yourself, I would say, as like kind of a hard and fast rule, stay away from like any of the isms or the phobias. They're basic Starbucks sensitive girls. What's wrong with Starbucks and being sensitive or being basic? Because I'm all of those things except a girl. Um, sorry, I've been like holding in a yawn for the past 10 minutes, and I just like had a had a lapse. um, but yeah, to just kind of like tie it all back. With everything, I guess like ultimately, I do like where I'm at in my life now. I definitely like had sort of a harder time maybe wrapping my head around some things um beforehand, but I feel like now that I definitely feel like I've invested in myself and I've definitely become a lot more self-aware, which I kind of hope is like a thing that everybody everybody is able to learn with themselves as like a tool as they get older, is just be self-aware. Because like, I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend that like I was perfect when I was younger. I was definitely kind of an asshole. um I know that we're gonna expose myself as like kind of a dick. I thought it was really obvious that I was gay in high school and middle school. So because of that, I thought that gave me the pass to be just like make kind of like edgy homophobic jokes or whatever, because I thought it was obvious. Like I thought it was just like, oh, this is me reclaiming those sorts of like stereotypes and um sorts of things to say. But I don't know that I ever fully committed to like the slurs that I remember, but like I wasn't saying like the F slur or anything, but I definitely was being like a little bit edgy. I didn't realize that that didn't really clock for a lot of people, and people just genuinely thought I was homophobic. I think if I was more self-aware, or at the very least aware of like the people around me, how they're reacting when I like say stuff like that, I probably would have had a better time. Because I definitely felt bad, sort of after like realizing that, being like, oh, there were probably lots of kids who were like LGBT that were intimidated by me because they thought I was they thought I was homophobic. They thought I was a bigot, and I'm just like, oh, that's not good. Um, so I definitely have a lot more self awareness now. Like after high school, I mean, I'm hoping that's everybody is like more self aware than they were like in high school. Um, but yeah, I gonna be AFK for a bit and just listen to the podcast. That's fine. I mean that's how this is meant to be consumed. Is just like sort of like passively. As much as I love chat interaction, I definitely encourage it because that's sort of why I went with like the Twitch format instead of doing pre-recorded content. Is because I do like audience interaction. Like I'll obviously don't feel bad about going AFK or just like sort of lurking or sitting in chat quietly, because I'm here to just kind of be be very long-winded and talk about literally nothing. Don't worry, high school was mess probably for everyone. It really was. I know some people like definitely had a better time than others. I definitely know for myself, I was pretty lucky that I didn't really face nearly the same amount of bullying that a lot of other kids did. And I definitely wasn't like I wasn't like super popular, but I wasn't perceived as like quote unquote one of the losers, despite the fact that I had like plenty of things going against me because I was like the straight A student. I was gay. I was like one of the few non-white kids at like a predominantly white high school. Um, I was a band kid. Uh, so like I definitely had like lots of lots of targets on my head for people to go after, and it was pretty tame overall. So I definitely consider myself kind of privileged for that. But could my high school experience have been like better? Of course. Oh yeah, hopefully I don't fall asleep before it ends. By the way, since I'm laying down, that's fine. Honestly, I've been told that I have like a pretty what's the word I'm looking for? I've been told in the past that my voice makes people fall asleep, which I don't really get because I personally feel like I'm kind of shrill. Um, but I remember my ex of like 5 years was like, um, it's like yeah, I kind of just like I like calling you before bed because you kind of just put me to sleep. I'm just like I don't know if that's like a compliment or not. It's just like well, it's just because like it like relaxes me. It's like so I have like a soothing voice. Like no, not exactly, but it just kind of like works. It's like white noise. I'm just like okay, so you're just saying that I talk a lot, and because of how much I talk, like constantly, it's like a white noise machine. It's a compliment. I kind of have to choose to take it as a compliment for my own sanity, especially since we're not together anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I've been told that sort of before, and I mean I'm hoping it's like mostly a compliment because then it's just like okay, well like maybe if I don't have like I mean I don't know if I really have a podcasty voice, but if I have like a relaxing voice, then it's just like okay, well then maybe it's like that can still be my niche is like somebody that can like lull you to sleep with me talking about whatever, even though like I consider myself at least when I really get into something I'm passionate about, like a pretty high energy person. Um, so it's kind of interesting for me to think about it being something that relax. Maybe just because I have an exhausting personality. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not true, but I don't know. I know that's not the right way to look at it. Um, let's see. What else did I want to like get it? Oh, we have an hour till my birthday, so I'm kind of wondering when is a good time for me to change gears. I guess over to games. Um, ooh, I will say. Okay, so something that I kind of promised to myself in a couple streams ago because um I definitely run into an issue where I get very carried away um like pretty often with whatever I'm like super into, that I definitely lose track of time, and as a result of that I don't take a lot of breaks. I don't take time away to like rest my voice, get some water, use the restroom, everything like that. So I've kind of like I've set a timer for myself now to sort of pace myself throughout streams because even though I usually don't stream for super long, I stream for like maybe like 2.5 hours usually max. It's still probably good for me to like take breaks because my voice is usually pretty tired afterwards. I know there's like there's better techniques for my voice, I guess, that I definitely could be using if I'm going to be speaking for an extended period of time, that I'm still actively working on, that I'm just not great at it yet. So because of that, I mean, even if I was, I should probably be taking more breaks. So we are going to I'm gonna take a 5 minute break, 5 10, not 10 minutes. I definitely don't need 10 minutes. But I'm gonna take a 5 minute break to like get some water, maybe a snack, and I'll be right back. So just give me 1 sec. I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about when we get back, but because I didn't plan this stream super intensely because, to be honest, with the amount of tech issues I had last week, like my most recent stream, well, I guess that technically isn't true because I streamed mobile games earlier. Um, but with my most recent attempt to do like a podcast episode, I was like, okay, I'm gonna prepare for the worst and not get super invested in a topic. Um, So I and just kind of let me talk about whatever. So but because of that, it means I didn't really plan ahead with the stream that much. I knew that I was gonna talk for a bit, I was gonna play some games, and I was gonna go to bed. Um but hopefully I will remember at least something that I was gonna do before I come back. All right, I am back. I don't know if that was actually 5 minutes or not, but we'll go with it. All right, so I did set aside just in case because again, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about today. Oh, actually, hang on. If anybody can let me know if the music is too loud or not. I sort of played with it a little bit when I went away, but I don't know if I like set it back to like a good level. So just let me know. Um, but I did set up like a tier list for it was like a really random one too. Okay, it's not loud. Okay, thank God. Um, so I set up a a random Disney tier list. I didn't pick it for any specific reason. I just to be honest, it was just the first one that popped up on like trending, so I was just like, all right, I'll go with it. I don't know if anybody would be down for that as like sort of like a random activity. I know what this is. I know this like stream is like all over the place thematically. But again, it's just like I didn't have anything specifically planned for the just chatting portion because I was preparing for the worst. I was preparing for this to be like, okay, I can only do the mobile games and then like maybe I talk over that. I mean, that's technically how I started this stream because Streamlabs was having a hard time downloading the update. Um, I like the chaos. I swear it's not always like this, but it is kind of like this a bit. um, well, okay, so because of this, I didn't set up window capture ahead of time. So you're gonna see kind of an awkward blank screen for a bit. But I swear it's like normally I'm professional enough to have this not. Oh no, never mind. I forgot. I closed out that window. Um, when I had to restart my computer. Let's see. Wait, maybe it's still up. Maybe I can still find it. Ah, that sucks though, because like I set up hang on. We'll try Disney Tourmaker. Yeah. Let's try it. We'll try it. I know it's kind of random, but I kind of feel like it and I like I'm open to I don't know that I consider myself a Disney adult per se. Cuz I feel like ooh, maybe this is controversial, but I feel like just because I haven't been to Disney, like Disney World or Disneyland, I don't know that I can consider myself a Disney adult. Is that fair? Oh, okay, thank God. It did save it saved all my. Okay, so just sort of a a quick disclaimer. I did not make this tier list, but I did name all of the categories because I always like inserting a little bit of personality to them. So we're gonna take 1 second to set it up. Um, so you're gonna see you're gonna see an awkward bit. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's get some window capture going. Okay, perfect. It's set up. It's set up. Okay. I'm hoping that's not too small. Can you see that? Okay. It looks kind of small on my screen just because I'm in the Streamlabs editor, but if it's not bad, then like hopefully I can like hopefully this is fine. But you'll have to let me know because I can switch to a bigger window. I just kind of like having it this size because then you can see chat and everything. But yeah, so this tier list is for well, it's titled all 60. Hang on. All 60 Walt Disney Animation Studios projects, and it's including Encanto, just to like let people know that it does have the latest shit. Um, so the tiers we are going with. So in lieu of S tier, it's basically we're gonna go from S tier down to F tier down to I don't know her. I don't know her is basically just I haven't seen it or I don't remember it well enough. So at the top tier we have oh Disney adult behavior. Um, for me, this is like it's my personal favorite. It may not be the best of the best, but like I still stand it a lot. There's iconic, um, which is like it's still like really really good. It probably would be considered the best by like a lot of people. Um, it just might not be all the way at the top for me. There's enjoyable where it's like it's still good, but is it like necessarily iconic? Not so much. Right below it is like a little bit more of a this is where kind of like the nuance goes in, like the difference between enjoyable and watchable, because it is kind of a fine line and it is difficult for me to describe. Um, then there's nostalgia can only carry you so far. So like this is sort of like it's not really for me. It's not bad, but it's just like not for me. And then there's straight to DVD hell, which like if you've seen any of the straight to DVD um Disney sequels for like Cinderella, for example. Um, okay, maybe Cinderella is not a great example because I actually didn't hate Cinderella too. I don't think that's on here though. I think this is like only the theatrical ones. And then like I said, there's I don't know her. It's just like ones that I haven't seen or don't remember. The size is all right. Okay, that's good. Um so we're gonna go from top left to bottom right basically. I mean, pretty standard. So I'm gonna start with Snow White. Personally, I'm not a fan of Snow White. And like I can't even remember any of the songs besides Whistle While We Work, and then the Seven Dwarves song, which I know that a lot of people sort of retroactively like have mixed feelings about the dwarves. I can't really speak to sort of the specificity of how the dwarfism community feels about this movie. I don't want to trivialize how they feel about shit, or pretend that I'm like knowledgeable enough to speak on it. I'm just going to leave this in. Again, it's not bad, but nostalgia can only carry you so far. For me, the songs aren't that memorable, I guess. I'm gonna say probably the same for Pinocchio, which I know that. Okay, I should probably throw out now. These are a lot of these are probably going to be like not super popular opinions. So I'm sorry if I throw your faves in straight to DVD hell or like nostalgia can only carry you so far, but like this is how I feel. That's just how I feel. So here's the thing. I'm seeing Fantasia twice on this list. I don't know the difference between the two of them, or if they were just put together for some reason. All I can say is like, okay, so I'll go here about this. I'll go off of because I only know of like the one Fantasia. Someone please correct me if there's like another one. Because I as much as I say that like oh Disney adult behavior, I'm very clearly I'm very clearly a fake fan for not knowing this, obviously. Um, I'm only gonna cover this Fantasia and then the other one I'll put in I don't know her. I feel like that's kind of like a diplomatic way to go about it. So for Fantasia, I think honestly Fantasia's in. Ooh, do I remember enough about Fantasia though to really rank her? I just remember being really bored during it. But like I know the songs are kind of iconic. I just can't remember any of them. That's the thing. I think I probably just watched it too young and I just haven't seen it since. But I don't want to put her in I don't know her because that makes it feel like I like I don't know her, which like I do. I don't remember her that much. So I don't know. I'll put her. How about this? Fantasia can go in the top of nostalgia. Can only take you so far, or carry you so far. Um, I'm gonna put Pinocchio there. I really okay. I don't think I hated Dumbo enough to put it into straight to DVD hell, but like, it's on thin ice. Dumbo is not any remotely near being my favorite um Disney film, like Disney animated film, to be honest. Bambi, Bambi's watchable. I really like the aesthetic of it, and I think I mean like I know a lot of these are hand drawn, but this was like very like I don't know. I it's hard for me to deny the artistic merit behind Bambi. Maybe I'll put it in the bottom of enjoyable because I do like the visual spectacle of it, even if like that that scene is very traumatic. Um, I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know her. Oh no. We're on like a bad we're on a bad sort of string of I don't know hers. Um Cinderella. Okay, Cinderella can also go in nostalgic. I know. Oh my god, I feel bad. I'm shitting on all of like the Disney classics, but like I really don't like them. They just weren't for me. I will say Alice in Wonderland watchable. I'll say that. I don't hate it. Um, okay, so for this next one, I quick disclaimer. I know Peter Pan has a lot of very racially insensitive stuff in it. So I just want to say that despite the fact that I am ranking it um kind of like not super high but kind of high, I fully acknowledge that this movie is very problematic against like indigenous cultures. But I will put it in enjoyable. I really do like I actually quite enjoy Peter Pan. Definitely one of my faves. Um Lady and the Tramp, iconic. I didn't think I liked it that much as a kid, but because I'm such like sort of like a romance buff now, I it does get more points for me now. I don't know that I put it in like sort of top tier, but but I still like it quite a bit. I will also put Sleeping Beauty. Okay, so here's the thing: Sleeping Beauty without the fairy godmothers and Maleficent, I would sort of ignore her, but those are just such iconic characters, and I kind of, even though Aurora is pretty annoying and she's definitely one of the most useless Disney princesses, I kind of like how stupid she is. And also I think Once Upon a Dream is like one of my favorite. Maybe I'll put it in iconic, but like kind of low iconic. Um just because of Maleficent and Once Upon a Dream. And then, like I'm definitely biased because of the Lana Del Rey cover. I know that makes me a very basic gay, but what can I say? I will also put 101 Dalmatians in enjoyable. I think it's mostly because of Cruella Deville as a character. I mean, I do love like the live action movie. But I also think the songs are good. The animation's really funny. I just generally love the characters in it. Sword in the Stone. Okay, I do have like a lot of nostalgia around Sword in the Stone. I don't know that I rank it really high, but like I do it is like so much a part of my childhood. Oh, is this okay, Jungle Book? I'll put it in enjoyable. I do like the songs in Jungle. I think the songs in Jungle Book are sort of the redeeming factors of the movie for me because otherwise I'm not really like a big fan of it, to be honest. Oh my god, the Aristocat. Okay, so the Aristocats I like for similar reasons to 101 Dalmatian. I mean, I just like animals, I think. Like not but like ones that like aren't like explicitly anthro, if that makes sense. Like just kind of letting animals be animals. Not that there's anything wrong with like anthros or furries or anything. It's just not for me. But like I want to go on record and say I'm not a furry shaming channel. That's not what I'm about. Robin Hood though, okay. I know I just said that, but I said that I wasn't really like, super furry or anthro sort of related, but I do like Robin Hood. I'll put her in watchable. I think it's mostly because of like the meme of like him begging for money. That definitely teeters my opinion a bit. Winnie the Pooh can go all the way to the top. I love Winnie the Pooh. I mean I loved the books. I loved the movies. I loved the show. Even the straight to DVD movie for Winnie the Pooh was good. So you get to go to the top. I love all the characters in it too. Um the Rescuers, I'm so sorry I don't know her. Um Fox and the Hound was so depressing, which is why she goes in iconic. We love being sad. I'll put you there, I think. Yeah, that's fair. Um, the Black Cauldron. Okay, the Black Cauldron also gets to go to the top. I don't really have like a way to like sort of explain my love for Black Cauldron, but she gets to go to the top. Okay, so the Great Mouse Detective. Um, okay, I'm really really sorry because I know people like stand by this movie. I've never seen it, which is like I know like boo tomato tomato tomato, but I've never seen it. I don't know. I don't know how that's the only older one I haven't. Okay, that's not true. But like as far as like the ones that like everybody knows, it feels like that's like the one that I haven't seen. Um, Oliver and Company is watchable. Actually, okay, so I'm kind of feeling like Alice in Wonderland can go to. So I'm ranking these left to right. So Alice in Wonderland can go up a bit. Like the more I think about it, I do like Alice in Wonderland. Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is sort of enjoyable in the same way that like, well, one the songs are good, but also because like Ariel is just really stupid. Like here's the thing, I'm not gonna like buy into sort of like the Tumblr debates about like um Disney princesses being anti-feminist or anything because I mean because I definitely did sort of during like my Tumblr era of that shit. And I'm not saying that like it doesn't sort of promote a little bit of toxicity and that there aren't like problematic things in it. But like does that like dramatically weigh down my ability to enjoy these movies? No, not really. Sorry if that gets my like feminist card taken away though. I swear I do recognize like this shit's like not good. Down Under, never seen. Beauty and the Beast. The songs are iconic enough for me to consider it watchable, but isn't my favorite now. Aladdin. Aladdin was like one of my favorite movies growing up. I watched it like literally every weekend with my parents. It feels like because like whenever they'd be like, "Oh, what movie do you want to watch?" It's like family movie night. I feel like I would always pick that and Lion King. Like Lion King and Aladdin were my shit growing up, which is why it's kind of like sad for me to say that like Lion King has gone down for me in ranking. I think younger me would have put it in iconic at least, but I think current me, I don't know what happened to like why I don't love it as much anymore, but I just don't. Okay, this is it's a little harsh. Maybe I'll put you like slightly higher, but Pocahontas. Pocahontas is problematic, but like it's still a very pretty movie. I hate to admit it. Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'll be honest. I mean, like it definitely has some problematic shit in it without like the Romani people are portrayed. But to be fair, like the source material with like Victor Hugo's book, I had to read that in high school. Well, I didn't have to read it. I did like a book report on it, so that kind of like taints my ability to enjoy it because I have so much trauma around that book report and like for summer reading, which I know isn't fair. But like that's just sort of my context and history with it. Hercules go all the way to the top. Hercules is iconic as shit. I love it. The songs are great. I love all the characters in it. It's really funny. I love sort of the anachronistic humor in it. I know some people don't love that in some of the movies, but personally, I think it's very iconic. So you get to go to the top. So does Aladdin, but Mulan also iconic. I think Mulan might be my favorite, to be honest. I love Mulan. Like is it a perfect movie? Probably not, but do I still consider it a perfect movie in my eyes? Of course. which like maybe makes me like a little bit of a stereotype, but like fuck, I don't care. Tarzan, I do not like Tarzan. I'm really sorry. And then like I said earlier, I'm gonna put Fantasia, and I don't know her. That's the second one. Hades is my fave. Hades is so funny. Wait, was Hades um who who played Hades? Does anyone know? James Woods. Yeah, I don't know. He did a good job. Iconic. Dinosaurs. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know dinosaurs, but like like, but it looks ugly, so I'm gonna put it in straight to. I have to put at least one in straight to DVD. Hell, I'm sorry. Emperor's New Groove is also icon. Emperor's New Groove is so funny. I don't think there's like very few movies that make me laugh as hard as Emperor's New Groove. Do I consider it better than Mulan? No, but like I'm obsessed with that movie. Yzma is like in my opinion like the best Disney villain. Argue with the Wall. R.I.P. Eartha Kitt. Atlantis. Okay, so Atlantis was the first movie that I saw in a theater, and I still love it to this day. So Atlantis also has to go to the top. I think I think like the S tier is probably going to be pretty populated. Sort of looking at it now. I mean, yeah, because I'm seeing this like Lilo and Stitch is like also very. I love Lilo and Stitch. Um, Lilo and Stitch is so good. It's such a cute movie. Treasure Planet. I I consider Treasure Planet kind of underrated. Is it like my fave? I think in the past I would have said yes, but right now I'm kind of like she's at least an iconic. Brother Bear. Um, I'll put it at the top of watchable. I know that's probably not a very popular opinion. I don't have I don't want to say it's forgettable because it definitely is. Maybe I just need to watch it again because I kind of watched it. I think I was like the first time I saw it, I was in my phase where I felt like I was growing out of Disney, but then I got sucked back into it like a year later anyway, so it didn't even matter. So I feel bad that like Brother Bear kind of gets like the shit end of the stick with that. Home on the Range, I don't know her. Chicken Little. Okay, here's the thing. I know people hate Chicken Little, like the movie, but I personally love it. I think it's so stupid, and it's like kind of ugly. Um, but I kind of love it because of that. Meet the Robinsons. Okay, I think because Goob is such like a funny villain. Ooh, do I put in an iconic though? No, I think it's just kind of enjoyable. But hang on, I'm gonna move these back up. I don't know why I moved them, but Bolt. Bolt is watchable. I didn't hate Bolt. It's just it's not for me, but it's not bad. Princess and the Frog. Okay, so other disclaimer, I do think Princess and the Frog sort of falling into that trope of like black characters historically not being able to be black on screen because they're either like cast as aliens or they're turned into animals for a portion of it or they're only playing animals or they're basically not allowed to be black on screen. I do think is very problematic, and that does sort of hurt my opinions on the movie, but I still love this movie a lot. So I still think personally it's iconic, but I want to say I recognize all of the problems with it. I just think Almost There is like probably one of my favorite. Um, Almost There is probably one of my favorite like opening Disney princess songs. Next to Part of Your World and Once Upon a Dream. Chicken Little is so mean spirited. It was pretty rough as Disney's first 3D animated film, I think. I know, but like I think it's like I think there's like a charm to it. Princess and the Frog had good songs. Princess and the Frog had bops. I love Princess and the Frog, but like it's also like it has lots of issues. I fully acknowledge that. Tangled, Tangled gets to go all the way to the top. I love Tangled so much. This like every song in Tangled is a fucking bop, and like it's definitely where like Disney started hitting their stride with like um the 3D animated films, in my opinion. But like every song is so good, the characters are so good, the script is really funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about Tangled. Um, oh, why is Winnie? I don't know why Winnie the Pooh is on here twice, unless I'm like missing something. But I just realized my piano. Hang on, I gotta. Let's find another. Let's find another playlist to go with. I probably could have gone with a longer one. I didn't think I'd be streaming just chatting this long. I thought by now I would have swapped to a game, but that's okay. We're kind of we're going to the beat of our own drum right now. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages right now very quickly. All right. Well, I know for Fantasia, I kind of I'm gonna break my rule for Fantasia and just kind of put the two of these together because again, I just love Winnie the Pooh. So sorry. I know that makes me kind of like childish, but whatever. I mean, a lot of these kind of make me child. I'm okay with like admitting that like I'm a like a kid at heart in a lot of ways. Wreck It Ralph. I didn't love Wreck It Ralph, but I didn't hate it. Okay, so is okay. So there's Frozen 1 and Frozen 2. Frozen 1, I know people got really tired of it. I personally think it's iconic. Um, and then while we're at it, so I know people don't like Frozen 2, and it has so many plot holes. Um, it doesn't have as many memorable songs. Elsa's super annoying in it. Like somehow more annoying it than like the first movie. Well, I mean, at least her motivations in the first movie made sense. Her motivations in the second movie don't make any sense at all. Um, but I still really love this movie. So I'm gonna put it in enjoyable. Controversial opinion. Big Hero 6 also gets to go to the top. I love Big Hero 6. It's so good. Um, I'm excited for the Disney Plus series. Um, I know somebody asked what I'm looking for, sort of as far as my watches moving forward. The Baymax series is one of them. I should also throw a Russian doll. I thought about that when I was using the restroom earlier. It was like, oh yeah, like Russian dolls coming out on Wednesday. That's like one of my favorite Netflix originals like ever. So season two finally coming out after like years of not hearing anything about it. I'm like stoked. That is definitely a thing I will. To be honest, like I there's a good chance I watch all of it that day. Like I just binged the entire season in like one day. That's how much I'm obsessed with it. Frozen 1 better songs slash character moments. Frozen 2 better visuals. And period. I love Frozen 2. Like I think Frozen 2 is such a pretty movie. It's why I have like a hard time like kind of ranking it anything lower than enjoyable. That's just me though. Zootopia. So A Cab, obviously, but like I love this movie quite a bit too. Um and I also think as like stupid as Shakira's song is in it, like it is kind of catchy. But yeah, I do think Zootopia is really funny. I love the commentary in it, even if it's like kind of all over the place. And again, A Cab, but I don't. But I'm choosing not to see Zootopia as entirely propaganda. I just realized my music wasn't playing. Or if it was, it's very quiet. I'm hoping it's like a little bit better now. Wow, we're getting down there. Okay, so Moana, I also love Moana. Okay, like I said, uh-oh Disney adult behavior is gonna be like a pretty crowded category. Um, yeah, we'll go with this. No, we'll go with this order. Yeah, this feels right. Okay. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Um, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I did like the princess scene. I know that was like kind of like a basic sort of fan servicey moment, but I do think it's kind of cute. Like the idea of all like the Disney princesses sort of having a slumber party is kind of cute. Ooh, Raya. Okay, well, I'm just realizing now both of these like final submissions are going in iconic, because I loved Raya. I know people have mixed feelings. I mean, maybe more so leaning towards negative feelings towards like Aquafina. I'm personally like a massive Aquafina stan. Sorry. I know she's done problematic shit in the past, and like I fully acknowledge that. But like I think she's funny. And have a hard time imagining her like anyone else playing Sisu. Um, I also just think it's a solid adventure film. It's also really it's kind of it's surprisingly dark, which like it definitely sort of reminds me of like the kind of darker, more mature energy that movies like Atlantis had during that era of the Disney Renaissance. So that's why I'm pretty into it. And then Encanto is just like I was sort of wanting Encanto to be good, so I was like manifesting it to be like really nice and like really fun. Um Especially because it wasn't advertised super well in the beginning. But like, I'm really glad it was good. I know people are probably tired of hearing about how good it is all the time, especially since like we don't talk about Bruno is like played literally fucking everywhere. Which I think is personally funny because like when I think of Disney songs charting on Billboard and getting that much airplay, um, I think the the only one in recent memory was probably the Frozen songs. So like Let It Go and then probably Into the Unknown. Um Definitely got a lot of radio play. But like those songs like stand on their own. You know, like you don't need like movie context to be able to enjoy the songs because like they have like pretty well maybe Into the Unknown is like kind of a stretch, but Let It Go is just like okay, it's like a self-acceptance anthem. Everybody's seen the music video, well, the quote unquote the music video. So like they a lot of people generally know the premise of Frozen. So like you don't need that much context to know what to be able to enjoy the songs. But like we don't talk about Bruno is such a narrative heavy and like narrative reliant musical number, right? I mean that's kind of just like the vibe of Encanto as a whole though is because it is a much more traditional musical than like maybe other Disney movies. That A lot of the story is just going to be told through the songs as opposed to them being kind of like set piece moments. So the fact that a song that is like um, that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to people who haven't seen the movie, which for a while I think was a lot of people just because it was not advertised super well. Um, it is funny to see that be like the song that like blows up and dethrones a lot of the other big Disney singles. Um, I mean, I love that it has sort of encouraged people to watch the movie itself. Because I do think it's a good movie. I stand by it quite a bit. We love movies about generational trauma. Um, but yeah, this is our tier list. I was surprised. I thought more was gonna go straight to DVD hell. Um, I kind of feel bad for making that tier now a little bit, but I guess it's like sort of good to sort of have like a buffer, I guess, because then it makes it not look as bad when I trash on like movies like Tarzan or Dumbo, which I know are some people's faves. I'm really sorry. I just don't love them. They're not for me. All right, so Here's the thing. I thought I was gonna swap over um to mobile. I mean, I'll still probably play some First Soldier before bed with y'all, but I kind of just want to chill here for a bit until like midnight. Would that be cool? That'd be cool of everybody. I don't know what I'd talk about, but I don't know. I feel like taking the time to like set up like a second stream um for like the last 15 minutes probably is like probably a little irritating or like a little jarring, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I know that the upload of this is probably going to be very all over the place on YouTube. I don't love editing down these VODs too much because I don't really have a lot of accurate software to help me do that yet. So a lot of it just kind of stays as is, except for like maybe the beginning and the end being trimmed a bit. Um, but um, but I think this is kind of just like even if the ending is like a bit awkward, like I don't mind because this is like staying and just chatting um until the clock strikes midnight, and then we can switch over to the game where my mic is very bad, and I am also very bad at the game. And that can kind of be how we wrap up the night. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure if I know I've sort of I'm just thinking out loud at this point. But I'm trying to think if it'd be a good idea for me to when I do the upload, if I'm gonna put the gaming stream and like attach it to this stream or not, or if I just upload them separately. If I decide to upload it at all, maybe it might not be long enough for me to do that. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, you'll know if you're watching this in the future, you'll know what I decided to do. Um, you'll probably know by tomorrow. I typically upload these uh not overnight, but like I try to get them up by noon the following day. I think because this stream might be a little bit more complicated to do that. On top of the fact that I feel like going to bed like right after this because like I get my migraine is still kind of here. Um, I there's a good chance I'm like maybe late with this upload, but we'll see. But yeah, so I guess if I'm so something to talk about for the last 10 minutes of being 24, I guess. I mean, I don't really have like a lot of other sentimental stuff to get into. Um, I feel like I kind of covered all of the emotional beats, I guess, of like my. I mean, I'm kind of surprised I'm not having a quarter life crisis. I mean, maybe I already had it a bit during like I had like this might be TMI information, but like whatever. TMI information that's redundant. And that's not how that phrase goes. But I had like a pretty bad breakup in 2020, so I think that was probably that could probably count as my quarter life crisis, just because like that was a 5 year relationship, and I was pretty convinced that was gonna be like it, like that was like the relationship I was gonna be in, and then it just wasn't. Um, which is like that's I mean that's not new. That's how that goes. But I mean, I'm definitely a lot happier in the relationship I'm currently in. I know he's in chat right now. Hi, babe. Um, but it is sort of interesting to think about being in like a completely different space. Like, I mean, 2 years ago, basically. And like thinking my life was going to be completely different. Um, I guess for context, ooh, actually, I don't know how deep I want to get into that. I like having certain aspects of my life kind of private, so maybe I'll keep that to myself. But um, let's just say, like, I mean, there's no ill will or bad feelings on On my side, at least. I don't think there's any on his side either. But we're still pretty cordial with each other. Um, but I mean, he lives on the other side of the world at this point, so it's not like we have like a lot of opportunities to talk or accidentally bump into each other and be those kinds of exes. But I think that would probably be like I mean I was really going through it at that point. I think I mean some of my friends are probably like lurking in chat now that that did see me through that shit, which was like not fun. But um but I mean it's kind of it's cool coming out the other side of it, because then I'm just like I don't look at back on it and be and sort of hate on myself, I guess, and be like, oh, like why did you feel X, Y, and Z about this? Like, you really thought you were going to be with this person forever. That's like stupid. Hindsight 2020 and that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know. I don't really feel that way about it. What do you think the next 5 years have in store for you? Um, ooh. So I mean, I kind of hope to continue to be able to stream and to have this channel grow. Um, and I am going back to school, so I'm hoping to have a degree finished pretty soon, which will be nice. Even if it doesn't like directly lead into like any kind of career, it is something that I've been like thinking about wanting to do for a while. Like, um, like school has always been kind of important to me. So as like a really basic straight A student kind of person, even if like my perspective on school has changed to be like in a healthier, less sort of self-lacerating kind of perspective, where like I was being really hard on myself um for not having a traditional education path, it doesn't mean that I still don't think about going back to school or anything. So that's something that's probably another big thing that I see um happening. So I guess those are, and then like also like I mean I I hope I'm still in this relationship 5 years from now. That'd be nice. I don't really, um, I don't really love sort of the dating around period and trying to vet guys, because I don't exactly have a great pool of guys where I live. I don't live in um, a very populated community when it comes to eligible gay men. um, and I also just, I mean, like, it is hard to find people who just like me, to be honest. I'm not like super popular around here. I definitely I definitely want to move also as well. Like I don't want to be living. I'm not gonna, obviously I'm not gonna say where I live, um uh but I don't, let's just say I don't live in a big town. I don't live in a city. I would love to live somewhere um a little bit more bustling, I guess. Honestly, I kind of wish I'd been able to do that sooner in my 20s, but at the same time, it's just like, was I emotionally ready to be living on my own in that kind of environment? Not necessarily. So I do firmly believe that like everything so far has happened for a reason, and I've just been trying to trust my gut and trust the process with that. Um, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I guess those are my big things. Moving, growing the channel, and hopefully still having a successful relationship, and finishing school. Yeah, those are my big things. I know those are kind of basic, and not super exciting. That's kind of where everybody wants to be, or almost everybody, but city life is overrated. I mean, probably, but I haven't been able to experience, like, the closest thing to like sort of experiencing city life was when I lived overseas in Japan, but like even then that wasn't considered like, it wasn't considered like a city. It was just more of a city to me than anywhere that I'd ever lived. So to me, I still kind of does that. But whenever I talk to anybody who's like either local or was like another sort of foreigner that was living there, they're just like, oh yeah, no, this is like this is a small town. I'm just like, how? It's like the capital city of a prefecture. Like, it's definitely more city than what I've known. So I don't know. It gave me like a taste of like, a life that could be kind of interesting and fun for me. But I definitely like see myself outgrowing it probably at some point. But I at least want to be able to experience it for a bit. In the same way that like I knew that I wanted to experience a dorm life for a bit at college and like campus life. But now that I've like kind of gone through it, I'm just like, oh yeah, like that's over. I don't really care that much about it. Like when I go back to school, I'm definitely not going to be an on-campus student. I'm going to try to be online for a number of reasons, but um, like not just because I'm not interested in campus life anymore, but just because like pandemic and stuff. I know I'm vaccinated and everything. I got my booster. I'm about to get my second booster probably in a few weeks. Question mark. Um, but I still kind of I'm still very weary around it and sort of being back in a classroom, I guess. Oh my god, 2 more minutes of being 24. I know it's like, realistically, is it that big of a change? No, because it's not like a massive change in like a life state per se. Because ultimately, I'm still sort of in the same kind of place I was near the beginning of the pandemic, where like I had to like, be back home and my financial independence sort of shifted, and because like my working circumstance shifted. Just because like I was working a lot of a lot of live slash like public events, and obviously when you can't congregate in that kind of way, that industry is no longer a thing. So I was not able to support myself with that anymore, which was not fun. But I'm obviously very fortunate that I was able to move here and have been able to stay here pretty safely and pretty comfortably. I'm very lucky about that. Some of the fact that like it was a good time for me to be back with family. I mentioned it like before, but I think this is like probably the best my relationship with my parents has ever been. Um, Without getting into to other details too much. Not that I didn't have a traumatic childhood or anything. I'm gonna throw that out there. Like it's not there's not like much to report there for that. But like I just think that like you know I understand them better as people now, and I don't just see them as like only my parents. I see them as like fully realized people. Well, not full, maybe not fully realized, but like you know what I mean, like a full person, and not just like somebody who is just there to take care of you. I guess I know that sounds really selfish and narcissistic, but I imagine lots of people go through that. Also, I just realized like my audio cut out for like a little bit, so there's probably like a little bit of dead air for a bit. And it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I wish my birthday wasn't in the middle of the week, because then I could have been like out partying or something. Um, but oh my god. All right. I'm hype. I really wish I could be drinking, but like I said, I'm like on meds right now to help with the pretty bad migraine I'm having. Um, but thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody, and thanks to everybody who's like come through and just listened to me ramble for going on 2 hours now. Um, like on this, and then like before then, I was like streaming a game for a bit before Streamlabs worked again. Um, I mean, I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who comes through, whether you like talk in chat or not, or whether you're just kind of passively listening or actively listening. Like, it's just like, it makes me feel not stupid for wanting to do this and being really into it, if that makes any sense. Um, oh, my phone is blowing up right now. um, from everybody wishing me happy birthday, which is very sweet. Um, I so I will be switching very briefly. Um, very briefly what very soon to First Soldier if anybody's interested in watching me suck at video games. But I do want to sort of quick give a roadmap for the rest of the week. So for people who are new, I normally stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. This week is going to be a little weird because I am going to Boston um, near the end of the week. So I'm definitely not streaming Friday unless I was considering maybe doing some IRL stuff, but I think I've been going back and forth on it a lot just because like it's like an anniversary thing with like my partner because our 1 year anniversary is just happens to be the same week as my birthday, so it's going to be a combination of like birthday stuff and anniversary stuff. So I feel like maybe a little weird about sort of filming too much of it or streaming too much of it because I don't consider myself much of a vlogger. But like if there's like downtime or we're somewhere where like if we're like at a restaurant or something and it's like kind of chiller, or if I meet up with anybody since it's going to be PAX weekend because I'm going to be in Boston. I'm not going to PAX, but there's a possibility that I do run into some other streamers there. Then like I might do some light content very quickly, or at the very least I'll like film some stuff, but I don't plan on it being like a full thing. I definitely don't plan on doing a full stream while I'm out because I do want to be present with my boyfriend and just be able to enjoy time together. But because of that, I'm not streaming on Friday. I will let y'all know on my socials. I'm gonna put in my it's gonna be in the description for like the video, but my personal account, which I end up using more, is not Sean or Sean. I know it's kind of like a mouthful to remember because like whenever I try to say like not Sean or Sean to people, like I have to like individually spell it out just because like basically my name is Sean but spelled with like a U, not a W or an EAN. It's kind of like an inside joke for myself that nobody ever spells my name right, so that's why like all of my personal socials are not Sean or Sean. If you want to follow me there, I update my socials there a lot more than like the official ones for the podcast. I need to get better at doing that, but like I just keep forgetting to, or I just don't think about it. um but I will post an update there on whether or not I stream Wednesday. The only reason why like I'm hesitant to stream Wednesday is like even though it's not a difficult day for me to stream because I won't be leaving the next day, but I will be kind of like in like the mindset of packing and everything, and I just don't know if where my energy levels are going to be. If I do stream, it'll probably be like a little bit more casual or laid back. It might even just be like a quick gaming stream. I'll post about it on socials, and uh, you'll know when you know. I'll try to remember to confirm it, but I mean, if you end up like seeing it in the future, then like you'll know whether I streamed or not. But yeah, we're gonna quick switch over to First Soldier. Thanks for everybody who came through and sort of like dealt with the chaos of this just chatting stream. I was really scared that I wasn't going to be able to do this part and I was going to have to solely rely on the gaming aspect, just because again Streamlabs was struggling in the beginning, just like downloading the update, and then I think about last week's stream being a disaster because of tech issues. But I'm really glad it sort of came through now and I was able to do this and just be able to like chat and catch up with y'all. um Friendly reminder, I stream, if you're watching this in the future, I stream every single episode of the podcast at twitch.tv/Girl Next Door Podcast. You can see it on screen now. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And feel free to just come on through and chat and vibe. It's usually pretty chill. We kind of just talk about whatever. I mean, if you've like sat through this video, like you know that we chat about whatever. I swear it's normally more organized than this, but again, I was preparing for the worst for tonight because I just knew my luck probably wasn't going to be that good. That being said, we're gonna quick end this. stream. Um, we're gonna do like a probably 10-minute break, just so I can like uh, drink some water, maybe get a snack, use the restroom and everything, and then we will get into games. The reason why I have to end stream like this is because instead of like being able to directly go into it, is just because just a reminder, I'm streaming off of the Twitch app when I do games, or most of the games. Some of them are I'm going to be able to do in Streamlabs, but currently there's no way to do like a LAN stream for non-Androids. I don't have a mobile capture card that I can connect to my computer currently. I do have screen capture software, but because my computer's not great, it just lags so bad that I'd rather just be streaming directly off of my phone instead. So that's why there's going to be a quick break in between, why this stream is going to be separated from the others. So I know that's like kind of weird and it's maybe a little disorganized, but if you want to stick around, just remember I'm going to be here in like another like 5-10 minutes. And I guess also other reminder that it's not going to have music, which sucks. Just because that's how the Twitch streaming app is kind of set up, which I don't love. And then also my mic isn't going to be, it's not going to be the same quality. It's probably going to be bad, to be honest. I don't have a mic set up specifically for my phone, so it is going to be a little bit muffled, which I know isn't ideal, but that's why I'm glad I was able to do this portion of the stream, be able to talk to y'all in the usual format instead of like struggle citying everything else. But yeah, we will be right back. And I mean, if this is where you call it, thanks for coming through. But if you're sticking around, I swear I will try to get some wins tonight. But friendly reminder, I've only won one game ever in Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, which is very pathetic. But like I never claimed to be good at video games. I'm like good at Fortnite and that's it. All right, but yeah, I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Bye.